So we are back now with lesson 14. I'm Lucky, I'm going to be the driver, and Vhukhudo is going to be my navigator. And we have our main.js here. And the first thing that we do as always is import our modules. You see we have require express here, and we're using the require keyword again to import our home controller, which is in our controllers folder. We have express EJS layout. We have our error controller, which is also in our controllers folder. We have Mongoose here, which is going to allow us to connect to MongoDB via Node, and we also have our subscriber here, which we are taking from our models folder. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is go to subscribers just to show you our subscriber. We require Mongoose again here, and then we create a new schema with our mongoose.schema method. As you can see here, we create this variable here, subscriber schema. We use mongoose.schema, and we just specify the properties of that schema, and we specify also how we want it to be. So we have string here, which is going, we have our name here, which is going to be a string, and our email here, which is going to be a string, and then we have a zip code, which is supposed to be a number, and those are going to be our properties for our database entries. And then we're going to use module.exports to export that, and we're just going to export it as a model using the mongoose.model method, right? And then we are going to go back to our main.js, and the first thing that we're going to do is set up the connection to our database using mongoose.connect, and then we're just going to link the URL to the database, and it's just the name of the database. And then we're gonna use this use new URL pass and set it to true, and then we're gonna assign our database to the DB variable. So we're gonna take that connection and we're gonna put it into this DB variable here. Then we're gonna log a message when the application connects to the database using the once method. So the connection that we have here, we're gonna use .once, and then the keyword that we're going to pass in here, the event, I guess, is open, and then we're gonna run this callback function here, which simply just runs console log, and it logs to our console that's successfully connected to MongoDB using Mongoose as soon as we have connected to that database, right? And then there's two ways of going about this, right, of creating a model. We can create a model right in our main.js file. As you see here, I've done so, but then I think the best way to go about it is to just create its dedicated module slash file, and we're just gonna put, it's the same thing here, right? So whatever we have here, we can have it on our main.js, but right now we have it in our subscriber, and then we're gonna import it using a require. We import it using require, and then here it's just middleware configuration. This is just similar to the other videos that we did, the other lessons. And then after that, we have two methods also to create and save if you create a new subscriber that matches the model that we created. We have two methods to create that new subscriber and save it. We can first create a subscriber variable, and then we're just going to create a new instance of that subscriber model, and then we're just going to specify the values to the properties. So name is going to be my name, email is just going to be my email here, and then we're going to call that subscriber variable, and then we're going to say .save, and then we're going to just run a function here to pass in error and save document as parameters. If we encounter an error, we're just going to log that error to our console, or else if we don't encounter an error, if we actually are able to save the documents, we're just going to log the saved document to our console. And the other method is just one step. This other one was two steps. You have to create it and then after save it. We can do both in one step here. We can say subscriber.create, right, and then we just specify the values that we want to create. So I'm going to change this from Richard Kuzwayo, and I'm going to give it my name, right, and then I'm going to change the email also, and I'm going to give it my email also, right, and then we're going to use a promise, right, to say after all of this we're going to use .then to pass in, and then we're going to have a function inside. We're going to pass in save document as our parameter, and then we're just going to log that saved document that we get in return, or else we're just going to catch the error and log it to our console. So next we are going to be running a query on what we just created, that entry that we just created. So I'm going to say going to use find one. So we're going to say find one, and then we're going to specify the property here is going to be name, and we're going to say find in our database something that has the, in the property name it has the value of Lakinkosi, and then we're going to use .exec, right? And then we're going to run a promise again. We're going to say my query. After that, we're going to run this callback function again with docs as a parameter, and then we're just going to log whatever we get, the result, or we are just going to handle the error just by logging into our console, right? And then after that, these are just requests for the this is just handling the requests that we'll be having to our server. So if I just show you how chapter 14 is working, I'm just gonna say npm start to start the server. And as you see, we have successfully connected to MongoDB using Mongoose. This is just this line of code. Where is it? There it is. It's this line of code here. That means the connection was successful, and we were able also to create a new subscriber. And these are the values that we have here. And then we are also able to query that subscriber and show it back to our console. So that is all for lesson 14. Thank you.